Hey yo, what is going on you guys? Alejandro here and welcome back to another episode of Magayon. In this episode, we're going to be doing something a little bit different, something a little bit special. We're going to be doing a city tour where I'm going to be showing you guys what we've built so far, from the first thing we've built to the latest one we're building, and I'm going to be showing you plans of what we're going to be building next. So, to start out the video, we're going to be starting off where we started off, which is this bridge right here. Now, this is the bridge. This is not the original bridge because I changed the bridge design in a previous episode, which is, the link is going to be down below. The old bridge was a little bit overkill for the city and it was way out of scale because the first episode, the city, I didn't have a plan for the series as a whole. Like, it was just all over the place. Like, I was thinking of giving it like Southeast Asian vibes, like Philippines vibes. It was just a mixed bag. It was a mix of things. There was no concrete plan. Concrete plan because the bridge is made of reinforced concrete. But yeah, there was no concrete plan, so I just played however felt natural, and that's what ended up with the first few episodes. I call this phase one. Phase one of Magayon was just figuring things out. And so yeah, this is the new bridge. It has 2 lanes. I don't know what kind of is this a suspension bridge or a cable stayed bridge? But basically there are these 2 huge towers that hold the bridge, that keep the bridge, like, you know, make it possible for this bridge to exist. It handles the weight, all the everything, engineering, I don't know. But it also has 2 lanes of traffic on either side with a high-speed rail line in the middle. There are still no trains coming through this because it's still not connected. And I'm planning on connecting them future to the high-speed rail network of the city because I plan that this is like very much built during the future. And I changed the interchange here to suit the city a little bit more. There used to be like a huge park here and it was super ugly. I wasn't satisfied with any of it. I reworked this entire place, removed some trees because the lag here was just so bad. And this building right here, this is a toll booth. There used to be like a massive toll booth here, and there was actually, excuse the frame rate, there's actually was a highway cutting this neighborhood, this waterfront, from the rest of like the city. There was this highway continuing through here. The slope here was extreme, and making this highway go up that and have another intersection like somewhere right here, it was just a little bit too much and everything didn't flow smoothly. Basically, the phase 1 was trial and error. Episode 1, we built this toll booth. We built a toll booth right here that's going to be handling all the traffic that wants to go into phase 1 from the bridge, the Magayon Bridge, without using the highway. Because if you use the highway, this highway, by the way, is connected to the city's outer ring. So if you want to go faster into the city, you can just use this one. And I'm also planning on making like an expressway because there is literally no highway going into the city. It's just a highway that goes around. So I'm planning on making an elevated expressway like the one in Manila, like Skyway, going through here. Now, if I'm far away from the city, the frame rate is quite good. And I am actually using Cinematic Camera Extended to change the FOV so that if I use it like this, oh my god. No, it makes the city look bigger, but I kind of like the aesthetic of a shorter field of view it gives. It makes it look like it's further away, big and small at the same time. It's just, you know, field of view. But yeah, episode 1 we built a toll booth and then maintenance station, or oh, there's a tricycle. Oh wow, vision, teleportation. I can go through things, molecular manipulation. And yeah, there's a taxi depot here and they act as taxis. I didn't remove this because I am very much satisfied with this. This is my first time like using these networks to make custom roofs, to make custom buildings, and we have a lot of like custom buildings in the cities. There's also this like post office. They have like a unique vantage point because they can just use this road and then they can use that and go there. So in the next episode, episode 4, we built this residential area by the park. Now the title of this is the hill. The name of this hill, by the way, is Kapuntukan Hill, because in this phase 1 I was taking inspiration from a nearby city from our hometown. As you can see, the Mayon volcano, if you haven't seen Mayon volcano, that is in Albay, Bicol in the Philippines, Southeast Asia, the world's perfect cone volcano. Sorry if like the texture is low. If I make it any higher, the frame rate would be much worse than it already is, because sadly this place is not optimized well, and you know, my laptop is not that capable, my current setup is not that capable. But phase 1 focuses on recreating or taking inspiration from Legazpi City, which is in Albay, Philippines. If you want to watch this episode, if you want to watch the episodes, I'm just gonna put the playlist right there, and I'm gonna put a card whenever I'm talking about these places. But essentially this is a waterfront mall. There's a missing asset there. There's supposed to be like an atrium or something there. But yeah, this is a super mall, like shopping center by the waterfront. There's like another office building there. And this is actually, I was trying to do a sleeping lion right here. You know, I'm not that good of a terraformer. So if we take a look at this, does that look like a sleeping lion? Like, do you see the resemblance? Does that show any resemblance whatsoever? This is like the legs, the back, and then the head, and he's like sleeping like that. Does that make sense? Hopefully it makes sense. The frame rate is 13 FPS, which sucks. Now this is actually, as you can see, it's a port, but it's an old port. I was imagining that this was the old port of Magayon before like the city was being built, and they built a new one to handle like the much bigger ship traffic. But as the series progressed, the history and the lore progressed as well. So I'm just thinking that this is another town or another city in the city, because as you can see, there's like a commercial center here, and this is actually the old commercial center. This is a newer commercial center, and this is the residential area. And I'm going to be building more residential area here, and maybe just farmlands on this side, because the frame rate here is already bad, and I want to focus the majority of the city's population along the waterfront. As you can see, the waterfront is part of the first phase Magayon, the Waterfront Development Program. Now let's get into this park right here and then we're gonna get to that place right there. This park right here is a waterfront park. As you can see, it's very, very nice. A lot of people are enjoying their time here. I'm very proud of the first part of the series, but some things I just want to remove, some things I want to change. But overall, in the first part of the series, there was literally nobody here because we didn't have any population. The way I started this series was like very different. So as you can see, now that we have like almost 16k, a majority of the tourism in the city is actually going here. Yes, a lot of people love this view, love this fountain or whatever. Okay, let's go into first person, and I'm just gonna show you how bad the situation is here right now. As you can see, in first person, the city takes a new life. It's like its own little thing. That's why I said I'm going to be developing the waterfront. I'm gonna be doing a lot of detailing here because we're just beside the water, so we wouldn't be that laggy. And it's kind of true. If you're just like looking at towards the water, the frame rate here is like very smooth. Once you get into the detailed parts, it gets very laggy. But yeah, this park right here, it's like a very amazing place to like chill and calm yourself down, and you get the amazing view of the bridge. Now I have a lot of like viewpoints in the city. This is one of the vistas, protected vistas. There's a road right there, and the design of these buildings are like so that you have to preserve the view of the bridge. And we also have like another one, I guess, right here. As you can see, look at that, the bridge is just there. It's gorgeous. Even though the texture is at the very low, as you can see, it still looks quite nice. It's all about lighting, guys. Lighting is everything. Mayon volcano there on the side. I think I'm going to be splitting this episode because I have a lot of things that I built. So yeah, first person tour and then tour and everything. So yeah, this park, we have an extensive bike network in the city, especially for the waterfront, because the city wants to promote, you know, biking. And as you can see, a lot of people are biking, like and we have Starbucks. There's a lot of Starbucks in the city. The Starbucks are like ubiquitous in the city. They're like everywhere. And once again, the gorgeous bridge, the twin bridge. They're like, a bridge is not one single thing. It's like two things, you know, Frozen 2. If you watch Frozen 2, you'd understand like what I mean. But and now let's get here. Let's get back to, I'm sorry if I get distracted with things. That's because I think I have ADHD and I get easily distracted with everything. So if you watch like the first few episodes, I go on so many different tangents. And yeah, now let's get into this build right here. Now, the lore behind this place is that this used to be the old waterfront, like the old waterfront, like yeah, the old waterfront. I just said the old waterfront 3 times. Anyways, so you can see these are very much older types of buildings, giving me Japanese influence, 1940s, late post-war, 70s, 60s. And these used to be like industries back in the day, and there used to be like ships going here. But since the port of Magayon, which is this massive thing right here, was completed and later expanded, the use of this port right here diminished because all the trade was going through here instead of here, because this didn't have highway connection, but this had like this has a literal highway connection through it. The highway goes straight into it, and people can like easily go in and out of the highway and go around the entire city. And yeah, this was like very active back in the day. As you can see, like this should be like the headquarters. You get this like factories, warehouses, and then it started to decay during the 1980s and 90s when the port was completed and the expressway was connected to it. So this started to decay and abandonment was here. This became a sore eye to the city. This was just a lot of abandoned buildings on this like row here and here, a lot of abandoned buildings here. So they decided to redevelop this entire place. Like they funded it up like so much, and they reclaimed land here and they reclaimed land here. This used to be like just a shore. The redevelopment that they did first was this waterfront mall that I built here, and then like this is like where they like put the headquarters of like the development program board or whatever. And we have this like cute little parking lot here, which I'm so proud of. It also has amazing views of the bridge. A lot of places in Magayon has amazing views of amazing things, and that's what I wanted to incorporate in the series, is that wherever you go, whatever you do, there's a beautiful view right there waiting for you. Yeah, as you can see, Chowking, KFC, National Bookstore, Abinson, very Philippines. And there's like this observation thing here, which is just a building that I sunk down from the vanilla game. And the next one was this part. This is Bayview City. It's like a city within a city kind of development. So it's a mixed use development. There are commercial spaces at the first floor, offices on the second, and apartments and on the top. As you can see, these is apartment buildings, more commercial here and offices here, and mixed with, it's a very much mixed use place. Everything is everywhere, and there's this tunnel that goes under this hillside residences. Let's just imagine that there is like parking underneath here for the people living here, and it just blends into the hills like seamlessly. And I wanted to preserve the view of the bay. When you're at like the hill, the buildings don't block the view of the other side of the bay or island or whatever. And if you're like up here on the top of the hill, I'm going to be building this up in the future, but it's a nice place to hike, you know, and relax. And living here, this is actually take inspiration from San Francisco residential, like beside the Golden Gate Bridge. And this is like where the army retired army or Marines live. And yeah, during a long time ago, yeah, I changed the highway to this just beautiful winding road. Just look at oh my gosh, look at how smooth those slopes are, and look at how smooth they're like curving. I'm just gonna take a quick little drive Okay, I'm gonna steal a car. Guys, we're gonna be stealing a car. OMG. GTA 5 and Cities Skylines. When I do first person, I change the FOV to a much higher field of view. If I do cinematics, it's like 60 degrees, like the field of view, and when I'm playing, it's 90. But when I go on first person, it's 120 degrees. So it's an ultra wide lens. And as you can see on the left and right sides, I have retaining walls because this is sunken and it's very hilly. This road had to replace the highway. It was very noisy for the people living there, so they decided to just downgrade it to this road, and people don't actually use this road that much, so that's why they decided to change it to this one. And this is the 2030s, if you weren't familiar, that the city is like set in the future, in the near future. So a lot of people are just using public transportation and all that kind of stuff. And driving is still like one of the main ways of getting around the city, but you know, they're trying to be more environmentally conscious or whatever. So yeah, a lot of changes in the city, radical changes. And now we're actually on top of the hill. So that was quite a nice slope to the top. And once you reach here, I wanted to give it the vibe of like very natural, full of nature, very preserved. I didn't want to put too many buildings here, too many detailings. I just want to give it, you're actually leaving the city now. As you can see, the view of the bridge, like when you're going across the bay, is amazing here. And we have this intersection right here, which I interchange. Look at this, that. Look at the smooth transition. Look at the slopes. I'm very much satisfied with this city, but the assets, I just have to do some more fixing so that, as you can look at this. Look at how smooth we just blend into the road. I mean merge, not blend. There we go. Now we are inside the highway. Yeah. Okay, that's enough. Anyways, I want to see the highway anyway. I want to see the views of the highway. Once you're driving through this highway, like as you can see, like the wires or cables, once you pass through them, it's just so satisfying to see them go by your head, especially when you're approaching them, because when you're leaving them, it's giving you like whoop whoop whoop, like whoop whoop. It's just very basic. It's just like lines going through you. But once you're getting closer to like the bridge, it like expands and then like wow 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 wow, you know what I mean? Like it's just so aesthetically pleasing. And by the way, there's no speed limit here, so that's why they're moving very fast, and there's literally nothing going on in this place, and that's why the frame rate is also like silky smooth. Let's get back to where we were before. Okay, I continued on building a residential area, and I was thinking of what kind of vibe I wanted to place here, because originally in like the place I took inspiration of this from, it was slums. There was slums across this waterfront because there are like fishermen living here, so they lived in like river stilts, I don't know, like houses that are elevated due to like rapid urbanization. People didn't have like proper urban planning was not that proper, so people just lived everywhere, and I didn't want that for this place because this place was being redeveloped, like, and Magayon is like, the word itself is the Bicol term for beautiful, and I didn't want something ugly in the city. I think the city is actually not gonna have poor places because public housing, Singapore, alternate history. So to replace the slums, I just placed like Japanese homes because they're like small and they give you like, they're like kind of like, they're slummish but you know, branded, high fashion. They're dense and they serve the purpose quite well. But yeah, very much Japanese. People live like by this creek. You have a lot of bodies of water in the city because in the Philippines we actually have like a lot of like bodies of water, like creeks and esteros and all that kind of stuff. But right now a lot of them are filled with trash, especially in Manila, and even here in the provinces, like in the urban areas, they're like have a lot of trash on the signs. I want to bring back the beauty of nature into the urban context and blending nature with the city. So yeah, this is like a very beautiful small little creek, and it's just like protected with this like wall here or something. And a lot of people have been commenting in like the previous episode, or when I uploaded this episode, like, oh my god, the flooding here is going to be terrible. Like, how are the people gonna be, they're gonna be flooded. So I actually placed this thing here. I don't know, there's like a water protection thing. It's actually an electrical power plant, but the city actually has an extensive water protection system that I just haven't built yet. So let's just imagine that this doesn't flood. This doesn't flood that often, or it's not prone to flooding anymore because of like advancements in technology, engineering, science, and mathematics. Phase 2, it's the SM land reclamation. It's land reclamation is inspired, taking inspiration from the real reclaimed land, Manila Bay. Actually, phase 2 is this entire thing right here. Phase 2 is in this entire thing right here. The land reclamation and the expansion of the city. That is phase 2 into the reclaimed land. It follows a grid pattern and it's connected to urban interchange. And a lot of things are going to be going away. So if you guys want to see the glory of what once was, the links are going to be down below, because some parts of this city are going to go away. This is Waterfront Park, biking, the Magayon Trail. Oh, by the way, didn't say that. The Magayon Trail, as you can see, where we started, like here, it goes along the entire waterfront of Magayon. Like, it goes zut, 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 meow, 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 meow. It goes to the boulevard, goes to the Capitol, goes through here. I haven't placed it yet. It has like a fancy bridge. Actually, it goes into like this part, and then it goes here, 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 and then it terminates at the Olympic Stadium, which is where the cycling event is like celebrated or something. I don't know. It's just my idea for this place, but I still haven't continued on with that. So yeah, doing this smooth pan so that you guys wouldn't get that dizzy. And let's get back to phase 2. Here is the Mall of Asia reclamation. This is the biggest mall in the Philippines, but I think something is going to be replacing it soon. I'm not sure. We've got it all for you. We have this huge out smack dab in the middle of this, and the real one, it was actually handling a lot of traffic because this land reclamation is 3 times larger, and there are supposed to be 2 additional islands here, but I just scaled it down to 1, and I'm going to be incorporating what is in those 3 islands into 1. So we have there like the Philippine International Convention Center, another convention center, like very much hotels, and we have the Mall of Asia, which is just a big giant ass square, because that's essentially what malls are, but it kind of looks nice. As you can see, it looks like an airport because I used airport assets, but there's something special to this building. It was just very basic, and I placed a football stadium on top of it for the Olympics, because there are actually plans to do a stadium or a grass patch on top of the SM Mall of Asia in the Philippines. So I also added that, like 2 annex buildings, like hotel, more commercial space, and this right here. I'm just gonna change the lighting. I'm kind of proud of this building because the way it's designed, it's like a letter S. The original inspiration for this was much more creative, and the way I interpreted it is, it's kind of nice for what I was able to do with the limited assets in Cities Skylines. So this is a hotel, 5-star hotel, but on the first floors we have luxury commercial. Each part of the building has its own entrance with a road. It has one here, and one here. The top is all 5-star hotels, and it's supposed to resemble a ship, like docking into the bay. But yeah, it doesn't look like that here in City Skylines. And this is gonna be like SM by the bay with like a Ferris wheel, like all of the entertainment things, and you can like go here in and out and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, the next thing I built after the mall was Jollibee. I built a Jollibee here, and I'm so proud of this cute little Jollibee here on the side, because yeah, we gotta put in Jollibee. Jollibee is like inevitable. Jollibee is the biggest fast food chain in the Philippines. It's much bigger than McDonald's because Jollibee is Filipino. So we actually have other restaurants here on the side, more parking, an empty lot because why not? I haven't built it yet, but I think I'm gonna be keeping this empty lot because it just gives a little bit more character. Let's just add some decals here and there, some trash, and we're done. This thing, it's giving me brutalist vibes because I'm going to be designing it like the Philippine International Convention Center. And yeah, this is phase 2. I just placed down these buildings for the 2036 Olympics if you have been following the series, because they decided to just use this place as another central hub for the Olympic Games, other than the main sports hub which I built a few episodes ago. We have the Olympic phase of the city. So yeah, I'm gonna be tackling this later on, but basically this was the old sports hub during the 1930s, 1940s. You can see with the architecture right there and the building style. There's a mall there for some reason. And yeah, now let's move on with phase 2 part 2 or something. Welcome to phase 2.something, the capital phase. Now there's a lot of history. There is a lot to take in this episode, and I don't know how long I've been recording, so I guess I'm going to be uploading a part 2 of episode 40 because the city just has so much information in it and so much history to it that I couldn't fill it in one video because that would just take literally too much. And if you guys want to check out what the history behind this thing is, you can actually already watch the previous episodes that I built of this, or you can wait for the next episode which I continue on with the city tour. In the next episode, in part 2 of this, I'm going to be touring the capital, the old walled city, Lundian, and maybe even Magdala. And in the final episode, part 3 I guess, which we're going to be talking about phase 3, we're going to be talking about this one, and this one, and this one. The port, Olympic Village. Maybe this is going to be, I don't know. I've been talking here for the past hour or so, and it's almost 2 a.m. So I guess I'm going to be leaving you at that. So if you guys enjoy this video, please give this video a big thumbs up. Comment down below what you want to see first. Don't forget to subscribe. If you want to check out this, the network list, the roads, the trees, everything I used, they're actually already in the links down below. If you want to get early access to this episode or 2 episodes in the future, if you want to get early access to episode 2, I think it's already going to be up on Patreon. So consider showing your support by becoming a Patreon and get exclusive access on patreon.com/Calejandro. And if you guys want to get the latest updates, I'm very much active on Instagram. That's instagram.com/CalejandroYT. And if you want to join the community and just share your builds, share your thoughts with the cities on a much more arranged or much more ordered manner, you can go join the community Discord, and everything is down below. But if you can't show your support by becoming a Patreon, you can still show it by clicking subscribe and turn on that bell notifications so you'd be notified whenever I upload a brand new video. That is part 1 of this episode, all done and dusted. We did a lot of things. I went on so many different tangents, and I guess that's what you'll expect in the next episode too. This is Calejandro signing off. Bye.